getting hard to be alone. I feel my body's getting cold. I know it's hard for me to go. I need to hold you. It was 99. There was snow on the ground. When the call came in, I knew something was wrong. I made my way to the station. Then I waited and waited and waited for the train. For the train, for the train, for the train. There's a train in the distance, it's coming fast. I'm looking for the car that's first class. I'ma keep my head up, 'cause I know it won't be long. It might be in a year, or it might be in a song. All the things I want, all the things I need. When the train comes, that's when I'll leave. Trains. 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 In the quiet before the noise begins, you found your way here through the day you've been in. Whatever way you carry through the door, you don't have to carry it anymore. Look around at everyone beside you, every single one of them has been there too. You're not a stranger here, you never were. This is your place, this is where you belong. I see you, I see you, I feel you, we feel you. You are loved, you are loved. I need you, we need you. Believe it, believe it. You are loved, you You don't have to be okay to show up here. You don't have to have it figured out. Bring the chaos, bring the quiet, bring the fear. That's what this place is all about. Every light in here was once where you were, finding something real in the dark. You're not too much, you're not too small. You're exactly right, exactly as you are. I see you, I see you, I feel you, we feel you. You are loved, you are loved. I need you, we need you. Believe it, believe Next stop, Squirrel Station. If you're here, you're already late. Trains moving anywhere. No rails, no rules, no plan, full speed chaos. Here we stay off track. Good, let's go. This train runs on overload. All aboard, let it ride. No brakes, full steam, full drive. Stack the cars, watch it grow. Trains rolling. Let's go. Keeping it right is Schuster McGee. He got the hammer, fuck around and see. Damn it, Dan breaks it once, breaks it all, and does it again. We bringing chaos all over town. If you can't see them, just look down. Mods in chat, hold the line. Oh, don't. Insanity works just fine. Something's coming. Feel that sound. Tracks don't hold up. We don't slow down. Energy spikes. Systems blow. Next drop hits. Brace for the show. All aboard. Let it ride. No brakes. Full send, full drive. Stack the cars. Watch it grow. Trains rolling. Let's go. All aboard. Hit the gas. No control. We don't last. Break the track. Let it go. Trains rolling. Let's go. All aboard!
Let's get nuts.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's true, I'd actually knock that up to about 100%, honestly. Howdy-ho! No, I have a new tablet and shouldn't have spent money on. Doesn't seem to be letting me apply my... Oh, yeah, the whole Prime thing is, I mean, kind of a pain in the ass. You guys all know that. Those of you that do have Prime, has to be, I don't know, connected a certain fucking way. Music seems to be just a little loud today. Let's bring that down just a hint. There we go. That should do, somewhere around there. Alrighty, well, I hope everybody brought their emotional support demons, or whatever you happen to have. Because, yeah, today we're going to be talking about feelings. Feelings. Nothing more than feelings. You know, that kind of thing. You have to do it in the app. It's just a different spot than the browser. I do all the time. Yeah. Hey. The fuck, Danny. Yes, I know. Ew. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and I also have to stop taking my giant-ass coffee and knocking it into my camera. It's something else I need to stop doing. There we go. Am I my own emotional support demon? Don't you... you have Baphomet, don't you? Or no, that's at home. Yeah, something like that. Found mine. Nice. I can't apply mine either, and I'm on my computer. Yeah, I don't know. It's some kind of weird-ass connection that I don't understand very well. And you would think that me being as technologically inclined as I am, I would understand it better. But no, no, no. No, I have to rely on guys like Shoes because he's smarter than me when it comes to that. So there. Prepares for the Aussie squishes. Look out. Look out. Here come the Aussies coming to get their Damon Daddy. Can we fucking... I don't know. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube Shorts, am I centered? That it's not showing me. Just let me know. By the way, if you are watching on YouTube or whatever, make sure you're smashing buttons and shit. All of today's sources, as always, are going to be in the YouTube description, the Facebook description, and there's a shit ton of them, so I'm not going to post them here on Twitch, but if you want them, I'll give them to you. It is a veritable pile. And yeah, I kind of figured you were at work. Yeah, I kind of assumed that. I always kind of think it's a safe assumption to say, hey, Jay's probably working right now. You said Felix for today's topic, and I can name some because of my doctor yesterday. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. Actually, today we are going to be covering a lot of things. This is actually going to be a very long one if you guys want to hang out for it. Otherwise, we can, cut her short kind of thing or whatever. But I have got a lot of info that I pulled from Giggity. Yes, I did say it's a long one.
I don't speak English. Fuck off.
Whatever. Wanted to hear what you were going to say. Oh, I have a lot. I have got a lot to say. Let me see. We are going to be covering things like emotional dysregulation, autistic masking, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, interoception, Alexithymia. Yeah, all kinds of things. All kinds of things. So if you have something to interject that you would like to throw in, feelings, what are those? There you go. Uh-oh. I don't know if I want to see this or not. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was, but okay. We're just going to run with it because, I don't know, I trust you. Because I'm a fool. I definitely felt anger, sadness, grief, disappointment yesterday. I cried in my car after my appointment. Fair enough. Fair enough. Feel free to share whatever you're comfortable with about that. I'm sure I've showed you guys the app that I use. Make sure you get more than... Make sure you get more than 2 things. Clip worth it. Rely on Shoots because he's smarter than me. I mean, you didn't need to clip it because I mean, fuck, I say it all the time anyway. But I mean, hey, there you go. It's a good clip. We'll keep it. We'll make a sound out of it. Yeah, it does sound like a rough go. I'm not looking forward to my next appointments because they're going to be some heavy shit. Going to the soundboard once I can get it going. I will take a copy of that. Just so that way I don't need to keep saying it. I can just push the button. That's what we can do. So yeah, I don't know if anybody's new here. I don't think I see anybody new here, so I don't really need to give you the rundown. I medicate here in the States, and my primary physician won't even try to ask for stuff for me, even though I've been researching for months about my history and suspected diagnoses. Is it possible to get a second opinion? Because I know those are easier said than done, but I'm old. Really old. Yes. Okay, so before we go into it, I'll give you the full heads up. Okay, we're going to talk about emotional dysregulation, autism masking, RSD. Somewhere in the masking section, there's a bit of research that references suicidality, specifically around the autistic people who mask heavily. It's just information that I pulled. We're just touching on it, okay? I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just going to state the findings and carry on from there, okay? But I wanted you to know about it, so there we go. Cool. Excited to hear about your research, though. Oh, I pulled a shit ton. I can't imagine it's going to be a new piece. Yeah, waiting months. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah. Our medical system is a little bit behind. Fucking Jay. Our medical system is a bit behind as well. So, I mean, I get it. I absolutely get it. Hey, there's an idea. Having an actual, like, physical binder or something like that to collect all your findings. So we're hopping on the call-out train. I mean, you do remember where you are, right? That's how I do. Get ready for all the call-outs. And, you know, a little tap with the love bat afterwards. It's not going to hurt anybody, right? So again, we are, of course, live on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. I would say TikTok, but fuck them. So there's that. Probably because Facebook actually pays me versus TikTok, who suppresses information like this because I'm not a screaming right-wing grifter. Oh well, what are you going to do? I love being able to show those go together and make it sticky notes. Dig to the site provider who is able to refer me for ADHD autism assessment, but I've already been warned Medicaid loves to deny it. I mean, fair enough. Come back from the store and you're streaming. Glad you're feeling. I'm there. I'll put it on the short version. Jay and I are going to have a conversation tonight. But using the site that's US only. Is that one that you sent me? Because that one seemed like a really good resource. So I'm pretty sure that was you that sent me. Yeah, that was you that sent me that website. I said okay, didn't I? What did I do this time? You existed. And you were my demon daddy. Yeah, Misprinted actually sent me, and you know what? I will actually pull that out for you guys to look at. Again, as she pointed out, it is in the States only, because I was trying to do a little bit of research on it. And, yeah, it really kind of... Is it this one? Yes, it is. It's this one here. Okay, it is that one there. Now, again, this is US only, and I did a quick look on it. It looked like a pretty good resource. I guess the point behind it... That's a VPN away. I mean, yes, there's that. But I mean, when it comes to actually getting, you know, getting connected with professionals and whatnot, kind of thing. I did take a look at it. Like I said, it looks pretty good overall. Excuse me, from what I could see. Again, it is HIPAA compliant as well. Well, there you go, right? Again, take it with a grain of salt, because I can't verify anything, so, you know, just be cautious using it, understand what it is, and, yeah, if it can help you, then fantastic. You know what I mean? All right. As I was saying about today's little shindig, having a driving fog. Yeah, good times. Remember, this context is... or rather, this is context and evidence. It is not diagnosis. It is not treatment. If anything tonight makes a professional conversation feel more urgent to you, then that's a good instinct. Take it to a medical professional, okay? Cool? Cool. Definitely exercise caution, but if people have questions, y'all can PM me on Discord. I'll try my best. There you go. Thanks for helping out there. All right. So before I get into it, how you guys doing? How's everybody feeling before I start swinging the love bat around? You guys doing okay? Doing all right? How's your hump day? I bet it's HIPAA compliant too. Is it HIPAA or hippo? Next question. All right, perfect. Jay's on the same train car as me. Excellent choice. Your hump day is lacking the hump. Amen to that. Amen to that. That's what I meant to type. Fair enough. All right. Well, let me give you a little bit of my lived experience when it comes to all of the feelings, all of that shit. I'm not used to my tablet. Yeah. I remember once upon a time. Did more social things in a week than the rest of the year. Like to hibernate now. That's fair. I'm alive. I graduated, so I'm finally able to relax and throw out job apps. Nice. Well, I wish you the best of luck with those. Let me see. So as most of you know, when it comes to the whole feelings thing, I suffer from Alexithymia. So I have a very difficult time trying to, excuse me, trying to interpret my own, trying to understand my own, and it can be very problematic, to say the fucking least. Hey, shout out to Dan. Yeah, it's basically your brain's emotions coming through in all caps with no punctuation, more or less, right? Trying to name something is a challenge, so I have feelings. So I have it's a little journal app. Now, do I actually journal in it? No, not really. But whenever it pops up and it's like, hey, log your thingy, what I do is I go through the color chart and I look at the colors, and that's kind of how I interpret feelings, right? So like, blue being on like the sadder part, red being on, the higher intensity part. Green is kind of like the lower intensity, positive kind of feelings, and then orange or yellow and orange kind of thing is higher intensity on the more positive side of things, right? So I kind of go color based. So yeah, that's how I do it, because I can't necessarily name something unless I go in there and take a look at it and try and narrow it down and then kind of get a better idea of it. But that's me. Remember, kids, alexithymia is not a diagnosis on its own. It's a trait. It is a pattern. It shows up in a lot of ADHD and autistic brains, more than the general population. So it is. All right, hang on. I gotta move my fucking page over. There we go. Perfect. It's so frustrating, especially when you're overloaded on feeling. Yes, it 100% is. Fun fact, lots of period trackers have mood trackings too. Yeah, menopause. Funny you said that. Teen summer heat and feelings is a solid fuck off. Nice. Consider it a symptom of. It wouldn't be so much a symptom, and more of a trait, like a potential trait. Okay. So, like, not directly something that ADHD or autism causes. Wow, I'm getting lots of spammer calls today about parcel deliveries. Cool. But it does show up in a lot more of the population. I think I have the numbers down here in a little bit. I sent you a package. I'll send you a package, big boy. The wording on providers is confusing. Yeah, it can be. It totally can be. So we'll be covering things like what alexithymia looks like in autism research, a theory about why it happens, interoception, separate research on emotional regulation in ADHD and autism, some of the messier stuff, masking, RSD, where the science is still kind of coming together. Alexithymia is a trait associated with ADHD, ASD, or ADHD, right? Because why not all of them? So before I get into it, obviously you guys know, because we have discussed it before, I discuss it a lot of times. If you're new to alexithymia, just let me know, kind of thing. Or, you know, Angie, because Angie's there too. Sending pictures of my package. Yeah, you did. It's heavily linked to sensory issues, low muscle tone, and dyspraxia for funsies. Never heard of it until 7 minutes ago. Well, there you go. Alexithymia is essentially the inability to understand, process, and name emotions, things like that. So it's a lot of fun. Wait, what about me? You know what you did. I'm that too. It's funny how often that pops up and how many people actually realize that, oh fuck, that's a thing. And of course it can kind of like vary on levels, right? Brain blank, oh, you said right before that. I don't even remember. Wasn't important. Alright, so let's start by taking a look at alexithymia in autism. That's where we will begin. Don't worry, Jay, this isn't all about autism. It's just kind of what we have for the moment. Okay? Because I know Jay is worried about that kind of thing. When it comes to the tism, he's the fuck out about my feelings, and I say hungry. I mean, that could be a valid feeling, right? And I'm like, wait, what? Well, I mean, there you go. I believe it said something about you and alexithymia or something. Oh yeah, I think it was, you could, if you don't know about alexithymia, you can ask me or Angie, because she threw something out about it. I decided you were worth picking on. If you're hungry enough, it's hard to feel anything else. It's true. It's true. But hunger actually falls under interoception, so that's something else that we can get to later. Anyway, so let me see here. One that I pulled for this topic, I marked safe, so autism. Oh, all right, fair enough. Jay is on Facebook marking himself safe from autism. Okay, so the one here that I have picked up as a core study, it pulls together 15 separate studies, 2019 meta-analysis. So meta-analysis meaning that they just combined a bunch of smaller studies into a bigger one, kind of a more trustworthy kind of number. So it showed that autistic people showed a weighted average alexithymia rate of, ready for it, just under 50%. Neurotypical people in the same studies came in at just under 5%. So to say that autistics tend to have a bit of a problem when it comes to understanding and naming emotions and whatnot, yeah, you could fucking say that. Just under 50%. Don't let the headline number just stand alone on its own, okay? The individual studies that it pulls from pull that range from between 33% up to 63%, depending on the study, right? So there's a real variation underneath that average. So this isn't all autistic people, of course. It's way more autistic people than you'd expect by chance, more or less, right? I'll name this one Jeff. My name's Jeff. Hangry is interoception plus alexithymia. I mean, that makes sense. I certainly know enough people that does apply to. I wish I had that sample handy, but I don't. I have this one.
It's a nice box!
Because it is. I mean, what are you going to do?
Daddy?
And that one too. Anyway, continuing on. For a bit more texture, there's a 2023 study. It's out of an adult autism clinic. It looked at 190 autistic adults. That's the one that found 66.3% of them met the clinical cutoff, shall we say, for alexithymia, which is higher than that meta-analysis average. Likely because clinic populations tend to skew towards the people that are already struggling with something. Obviously, if you're in a clinic, you are probably going to be struggling with something. This number basically assumes you're definitely not alone without being all autistic people. Yeah, well, like I said, the average out of these, how many studies was it, did I say? 15 separate studies. Right? So, there is that. Let me see. In that same clinic study, the specific piece of alexithymia called, they just called it difficulty identifying feelings. So that was strongly linked with depression severity, anxiety severity, kind of thing, right? So again, from the clinic, they were already in there, kind of dealing with something as it was. There was one study out of this that directly compared alexithymia traits against autism traits as predictors of depression in autistic adults. Alexithymia won that one. The difficulty identifying feelings specifically outweighed the autism traits themselves in explaining who was depressed and who wasn't. So again, this is only from one study. So it's not autism itself that's making people depressed, which kind of surprises me. But in this research, it is the not knowing what you feel part riding along with the autism that is doing a lot of the damage. So when I read that part, that made a lot more sense to me, right? Because I mean, same with ADHD and autism, there are very high numbers of associated anxiety, depression, things like that, right? But having something that is kind of a co-pilot, shall we say, you know, a passenger that contributes heavily to it, that not only does that help me understand a little better, it also kind of makes a little more sense to me as to why so many of us would feel a kind of depression, because we have this this kind of emotional blockage, as it were. I suppose I did struggle more with identifying feelings when I was dealing with my depression. They tend to go hand in hand. They can. So, how many people are doing that math on themselves right now, and kind of looking inward and questioning things out of curiosity? If you are, I'd like to point out what Weasel said, which was that definitely screams that you are not alone. All the maths. Sort of mean the hand-in-hand problem. Yep. No autism, no depression. Got it. Winning. Yes, that's exactly it, Jay. In a world that makes it hard to exist, we dissociate it from ourselves and environment in general. It's another layer. Can you blame any of us? No. No, it is very true. So the studies found individually that between 1 out of 3 and 2 out of 3 people with ASD dealt with this issue. The average for studies found. Oh, this makes. Again, it's over 15 studies, right? So you know, the mean, the average was little under 50%. I didn't write down the exact number, but all right. Any feelings about that? Any questions about that? Anybody? Because if so, we'll take a little pause right here for a second before I go moving on to the next little area that I ridded it down. I'm surprised they did 3 studies. Well, like I said, they did more. I know my truth. I don't know what I'm feeling about that. I mean, legit. Angie have question. Uh-oh. Should I be scared? Don't be scared. Fantastic. You cured my depression. Well, son of a bitch. I didn't even know I was qualified to do that. What part of the universe did we piss off to have to deal with this shit? I think it's probably the part where it created us. If I was to throw just a random guess. Study about I don't know what I'm feeling about a study about understanding feelings. I know, you see what I did there? I blame Obama, because why not? Fucking Trudeau. Oh well. Oh well. All right. Well, let me just shuffle on. Yeah, thanks, Obama. Shuffle on to the next part, which I called the interoception connection. It's why the body doesn't send a memo. So, does anybody not know what interoception is? If you do not know what interoception is, give me a random number. Put a 2 in chat, I guess. I don't know, we already pissed off the rest already. Yeah. Glad that somebody got it. Conjunction. Junction. What's your function? Well, the chemicals make it the frickin' frogs, right? I'd just like to point out, by the way, before we go any further.
Trans rights are human rights, and if you don't agree, you can fuck off.
Okay. Now that we've got that established. Work chat went off. What was the question? I don't remember what the question was. I do not recall, but must not have been important. Anyway. Okay, so, the question was, does anybody not know what interoception is? Because that's the next part that we're going to have a little discussion about. I do bring it up enough. Most of you should know what it is, but for those who do not, it's your brain's internal weather report, shall we say. Your heart rate, your hunger, temperature, your internal feelings, or, whether you're hungry or not. Whether you got to piss or not, that kind of thing. That little flutter before you realize that you're anxious, the sense it tells you what's going on inside your body, that's interoception. As opposed to what's called proprioception, where it's understanding your position in space, like in your space, and, realizing what things are around you, right? Opposite that being interoception, so what you've got. The internal echolalia, I think. During the frickin' frog's gay. Yep, that one. So that's what interoception is. Okay? Hope that makes sense. I'm bad at both ceptions. Your antiception is what you are. Misprinted the antiception wonder. So, let's set up a little theory for you here, okay? A group of researchers proposed something that reframed a lot of autism research. Their argument in a 2013 paper, so this goes way back. It's called Mixed Emotions. Basically, a lot of what looks like an autism-specific emotional problem might actually be explained by alexithymia and interoception differences, kind of riding along with the TISM. Now, remember, this is not just an autism thing. Interoception affects a lot of different neurodivergent people, ADHD people, Tourette's, schizophrenia, right, along the list. This can affect a lot of people. Okay. Given the direct test, a companion study that same year found that alexithymia, not autism, predicted poor recognition of facial expressions. So, does anybody here have trouble interpreting facial expressions off of other people? Because that is something that is heavily associated with autism, right? The inability to understand what somebody's portraying, what emotion they're wearing. Actually shocked me, haven't given myself serious injury beyond busting my face open at age 4. Proprioception for the win. I overinterpret face expression. I think that it might be something that we may have trained from a lot of time in the clubs, right? Because it's weird. I find that I'm either like bang on or total miss, right? I have trauma PhD in that. So it's either hit or miss for me, right? It's either I can absolutely nail it, or completely fuck it right up, right? It doesn't, to me, it feels like there's no in between. So, autistic people with alexithymia tended to struggle a lot more. The autism diagnosis alone wasn't the deciding factor on this, but it definitely is something that is to be thought about. I haven't taken one of those tests in a long time, and I don't remember how I did. I feel like I do decently, and that's fair, right? I feel like a lot of times I do decently as well, but then there, like I said, there are other times that I absolutely pound the pooch on it because, you know, I either over or under interpret. Or see, you can let me feel confident about that feeling, and we will get to that absolutely. So in a 2016 finding, so this is the one that kind of ties things together a bit more. Autistic participants reported paying more attention to their internal body signals, but were less accurate in reading them correctly. So, you know, in this study, they found a lot of the autistics were very in tune to what they were feeling. It's just they were tuning to the wrong station, basically. Also hit and miss. It's skewed in favor of neurotypicals. Worse with other neurodivergents, like my boyfriend has autism. I misread him most often with food reactions. Yeah, I find that I tend to misread my wife a lot, and yeah, that's a bit of a problem in and of itself. So, yeah, like I was saying about the autistic interpretation of it, basically, think of it like you're turning the volume all the way up on a radio station that's half static, right? You're definitely tuned in, you're just not getting that clear signal. Kind of to add on to the radio reference that I made there. Spicy thoughts just fine. I got nothing to add on that one. Nothing to add. Sorry, you kind of threw me off on that. So I just want to point out that pattern that they found, right? High attention paired with low accuracy. So it shows up in a lot of alexithymia research, generally, not just in autism, which is more. There was a neuroimaging study that they did on kids and teens. There was no measurable behavior difference in interoceptive awareness between autistic and non-autistic kids. So they seem to kind of either be better in tune at that age or much worse. Depends who you ask. But alexithymia severity was higher in the autistic group, and higher alexithymia tracked with different brain connectivity patterns. So specifically between, I'm not going to get into the chemistry of it, right? But in the body signals region, basically, and the making sense of it region, a lot of it in the prefrontal cortex, which a lot of you know, as neurodivergent, we tend to have underdeveloped prefrontal cortexes. Which sucks, but it's a fact of life. Oh, hey, it's my med check, which I will get to in a moment. Afternoon med check, there you go. So, out of all of these studies, basically, when it comes to the interoception, it's an influential theory, not a settled one, right? There were some researchers that still argue emotional processing differences are more tied to autism itself, but I think my take is more, this is where a lot of smart people currently think that that the field is heading, and not a case closed thing. It's like looking at the gaps between masked, unmasked versions of your friends' partners is harder. Yes, that's another thing you have to take into account too. So, before we go to the self-care break, question for you. Can anyone relate to knowing that something is happening in your body before you know what it actually is? Like, your chest gets tight and you have to, like, reverse engineer whether that's anxiety or excitement, or you just gotta pee. Does anybody experience that? Anybody? Anybody? So what we're going to do is we will go to a self-care break, and then right after that, something weird is afoot. Is it a foot? Or is it a leg? Or an ankle? I mean, you just never know. You just never know. All right, let us do this. Time to grab yourself a water, a snack. Have that pee if you gotta. Pet your dog. Do what you gotta do. But we're going to take this break, and then we'll be back with some moose news.
After these messages,
What's that?
we'll be right back.
Heard of it? You will. Who gave who ammo? Ammo who, what, where? Oh, for Jay? Yeah, Jay's always a target when it comes to this stuff. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. By the way, for those of you that follow along with the music therapy kind of thing, hey, little reminder for you. In 2 days, putting out a new album. It's called Capacity. So, enjoy that. Close. I think it's Corrosion. Exclamation Corrosion. But thank you, Jay. I appreciate what you're doing. There we go. New album Capacity comes out on Friday. So for those of you that follow along with the music therapy shit, then yeah, that's coming out on Friday. Also, I have been very lacking in the Substack articles this week. I apologize for that on one hand. On the other, I don't, because I'm trying to get my shit together and take care of myself. So I will be getting back to that a little bit. I will be getting back to that very soon. Command completed. There you go. But yeah, exclamation Substack if you guys want to check out the articles that I do have up this week, which I think there are only 2 from earlier this week. And then, of course, yeah, there's this goddamn thing that I worry about, but whatever. If you can, great. If you can't, great. I still love you. Give me the face with your hammer. That's why he's got the hammer, you know. All right, enough of that shit. Here we go.
And now it's time for Moose News.
Seems legit.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. Here's our Moose News for today to add a little bit of a palate cleanser. Shall we? Hammer's my penis. Points if you get the reference. It's my dick. Our first piece of Moose News today is called the Peachtree Double Deer Incident. So this is in Peachtree City in Georgia. On July 7th, there were 2 separate deer that crashed through 2 separate windows, storefront windows, in the same shopping center at basically the same moment. One went into an oyster bar, the other went into a massage parlor. Take that however you like. The employees at the massage place didn't even realize there were the deer inside the building until they found it standing in the fucking bathroom. Nobody was hurt, thankfully, but both deer were removed safely. I've got so many questions about whether these 2 deer like coordinated their attack, or if it was just catastrophically bad timing, or I don't know, one of them had a craving for oysters. I don't know. Whatever. So that was a thing that happened. The High Life of Ben Nevis. That I don't know if anybody has heard this one. It happens in Northern Ontario quite often. I can imagine. Whether it's deer or elk or moose that end up crashing through. This story takes place in Scotland. It happened this week. A family is hiking Ben Nevis, which is the tallest mountain in the country of Scotland. And the family is hiking with their 5-year-old black lab. Nathan Fillion Pavilion is outstanding. So they're about an hour from the summit. The dog's back legs started to give out, and she started drifting in and out of consciousness. The family's first thought was that the dog had a spinal injury or a slipped disc. The actual answer, according to the mountain rescue team, the dog had eaten weed somewhere on the trail. So a full mountain rescue team got mobilized because a lab found somebody's stash, basically. I think that might be the most Scottish thing ever. So that's a thing that happened. In Idaho this week, a guy named David Rush, who's apparently holds more concurrent Guinness World Records than anybody else on the planet, because apparently somebody has way too much free fucking time. Hey, it's Indicate. Attracts for a lab. Yes, it does. So anyway, this guy, David Rush, reclaims a title that was taken from him. Okay? The title, The Most Rolls of Toilet Paper Balanced on Your Own Forehead. He originally set the record at 101 rolls back in 2021. Somebody came along and pushed it to 152. David Rush deemed this was unacceptable. His comeback number was 195 rolls of toilet paper balanced on his forehead for 30 seconds. Yes, this is a thing that actually happened. His actual quote concern, his actual quoted concern going in was nerves, because if he feels even a hint of hesitation, then the whole stack wobbles. Hey, what's going on? I see you there. So yeah, full size 2-ply. That's a good question. All it said was rolls of toilet paper. Anyway, I respect the dedication. So that's a thing that happened. Here's something else for you. In Brooklyn this week, a tequila company built a foosball table that is 525 feet long to celebrate the World Cup. So for reference, that's a length of about 112 regular foosball tables lined up in a row. Okay? So it's not a table, it's a fucking runway with handles, essentially. 16 and 20, so not bad. Perfect. There you go. In the US, you can get jumbo roll. I'm gonna guess it probably wasn't, due to the fact that 195 of them, the amount of weight that it would actually compound to. So I'm gonna guess it was probably single ply, if I had to guess. Anyway, so this foosball table, a Guinness adjudicator, one of the people who tests whether it is a world record or not, showed up specifically to confirm that it beat the previous record, which was a mere 497 feet compared to this 525. That was set in Turkey. So the bar for this particular sport was apparently already fucking unhinged before this week. Yeah, it would. That's something that happened. I thought it was weird. At work, we'll catch up later. Okay, cool. And finally, our last piece of Moose News is about Jimothy, the spherical raccoon of Seattle. A lemon? Sure, why not a lemon? You say weird, I say amazing. Yes. Yes, indeed. So in Seattle this week, a raccoon with an unusually shortened spine has gone locally viral for looking, and I'm quoting the report here, spherical. I keep hearing about this shit. Yeah, it is a raccoon from Seattle that looks spherical. His name given to him by the internet, Jimothy, because of course, why not? Why wouldn't it be? Right? No further plot is required. Sometimes the news about a round raccoon named Jimothy is the whole story. So, yeah, feel free to look that one up. Human competitiveness is always insane. It is absolutely mental how competitive people can be. Find a pic? Yeah, let's see if we can find a little pic here. Do I have? Let me just check here. Jimothy, there we go. All right. Holy fuck, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, apparently if you type it into Google, an animated little Jimothy will run across the screen. You guys gotta see this. There's a Google widget, yeah. Hang on. Let me get the right window in here. Alright. Boop. Boop. Alright. So, and save your page. Where is it? This one here. I'm just going to move this over here so it's out of the way. Perfect. All right, so Jay, I don't know if you're paying attention, but take a look at this running across the screen here. It's Jimothy! Then the guys keep referring to him. I thought it was a raccoon backup. No, it's apparently a raccoon with a short spine. Sure, I'll take him. Yeah, that's the thing. That's a thing that happened. So there you go. Let's see what we got for images here before we get back to... Yeah, check this shit out. Jimothy. Click the hand at the bottom, he runs across again. Does he? Oh, right here. Hop. Run, you bastard! Cute. All right, let's get back on track here, shall we? He's a fun-sized raccoon, more or less, yeah. More or less. From I can't watch anything on broad channel. Damn song showing up. Sorry, what? Something we can adult themed against other. Oh, okay. Send me a link to it. Alrighty. Next up, since we're talking about feelings, nothing more than feelings, and neurodivergence, and the fact that a lot of us have problems interpreting it. Emotional dysregulation in ADHD. This is the foundational model here, basically. The emotional dysregulation is essentially considered to be... It's like a pumpkin. It used to be considered a core part of ADHD back when it was called minimal brain damage in early research. That was back in the DSM-2 days. Then the DSM-3 came along and quietly demoted it to an associated feature as opposed to a core function of our brain damage. Basically, psychiatry said, yeah, that's ADHD too. And then they got cold feet and walked it back. So, take what you will of that one. There was a major review in the American Journal of Psychiatry in 2014. That is still the reference point for just about everybody in the field. They cite their 3 findings, broken down here for you. Emotional dysregulation is common in ADHD across the whole lifespan, not just childhood, as they originally thought. And it's a major source of real-world impairment, not a footnote. How do you guys feel about that information, knowing that that is referenced all the way back in 2014 as one of the primary things that is pointed at when emotional dysregulation comes up? It's tied to how the brain notices, recognizes, and pays attention to emotional information in the first place, not just how it reacts to it afterwards. And it maps onto the specific brain networking, connecting the reward and motivation to the alarm system and the let's think before we act part. There's just a little bit of impairment in there. So picture your brain's gas pedal, alarm system, and the brakes, and none of them are on the same group chat, basically, right? That's roughly what this fucking mismatch looks like. It is terrible. There was a 2020 meta-analysis in BMC Psychiatry. It pulled together 13 studies covering 2,500 adults. The adults with ADHD showed significantly, words are hard. I'm sorry, what was that about English?
I don't speak English. Fuck off.
Anyway, adults with ADHD showed a significantly higher emotional dysregulation than people without ADHD. As Jay just pointed out, duh. So it's with an effect size researchers called large, meaning this is not subtle. Maybe it's there. It's a big, big consistent problem. Just like shit they could have learned by asking questions. I don't know, fucking listening. Yeah. And here I thought it was drugs. Sorry, Dan, you were wrong. Okay, so let's bring in the treatment angle. Okay, there was a 2025 meta-analysis specifically on medication for emotional dysregulation in ADHD. It found that, are you ready? Stimulants and other ADHD medications meaningfully reduced it. Holy shit. Though they worked well, it varies from biological sex and by which type of ADHD someone has. So inattentive, hyperactive, combined, that kind of thing. That is what they found. So again, the short version, medication helping with this doesn't mean it's just a chemical problem with a chemical fix. It doesn't mean that medication is required or works the same for everybody, as indicated by a video that I put out a couple of days ago. But it is one data point, not the whole picture. Yes, and Angie spit in French. Words are hard, but also English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? I mean, I do, but not very well, apparently. No, fucking RNC before I know I have it. Thinking professionals would figure it out. I mean, I am not a professional. We all know this. Excuse me. With I think it's a bit of the smoke in the air, which is kind of causing my throat to close up a little bit. But I'm not gonna call for fucking tariffs on it. Sorry, is that my inside voice coming out? My bad. I'm not gonna go blaming California for it, because it would have proved my mom right. All right, so question for all of you. Sorry, this Jimothy thing is distracting me, and I got to get rid of that. Question for all of you: when is the last time that you went from completely fine to absolutely furious in 2 seconds over something that was genuinely not a big deal? No judgment, but just, you know, let me know. Drink the wet stuff, motherfucker. Right here. I didn't hear a thingy for it if there was one. Say again? Okay. The question was...
Drink your water! Unclench your jaw! Take your meds! Eat something yummy, motherfucker!
Drink your Buckies, motherfucker. Anyway. Yeah, thanks, Ange. Anyway, my question was, when was the last time that you went from completely fine to absolutely fucking furious in under 2 seconds over something genuinely small? Going for a drive on autism. Thank you. Every day, but quite often. Yeah, I would have to say, probably last night for me. I think. And my wife told me I was fat. I mean, that would probably do it, I guess. Hurtful, mama. Surprisingly, not at all today. I like it when that's a legitimate answer. Then she threw in fuh. Oh, the pH? You're fat with a pH? Gotcha. Pretty hot and tempting, is that what it is? Yet. Yeah, yet. That's the important part. For me, it's yet. Yeah, also. All right. So why don't we go from there to emotional dysregulation in autism and what happens when they both overlap. Haven't made dinner, so you know. Yeah, during the self-care break, I actually took out some pork chops. So we will say, I was there. She did call him that. Perfect. So it's not just a made-up story. I gotcha. Perfect. All right, so emotional dysregulation in the TISM and what happens when they overlap. Okay. This one here is from a foundational 2013 model which does for autism what the last paper does for ADHD. So there was a 2024 meta-analysis that pulled together all of the current research and confirmed autism, and confirmed that autism is tied to significantly higher rates of both internalized problems, that being anxiety, depression, shutdown, things like that, and externalized problems, being meltdowns and outbursts connected to emotional dysregulation. Does somebody want to chalk that up to no shit Sherlock? There was a measurement tool that the researchers built specifically for this population. They called it the Emotional Dysregulation Inventory, which splits the traits into two factors: reactivity, so how big and fast the reaction is, and dysphoria, which is how much distress and low mood is baked into it, if that makes sense. So now we bring in the overlap. The newest and most exciting part, ready? What happens when someone has both ADHD and autism together? Yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious, right? I'll melt down over my own hair. Give me 45 minutes to get mad at the air fryer. There you go. Yeah, magic. Okay, so I just want to flag this clearly. Okay. A preprint posted roughly two weeks ago, I think. So meaning that it is not peer reviewed yet. So we're kind of going to treat it as a promising early idea, not established fact. Okay. It proposes something called affect intolerance, meaning difficulty tolerating the raw experience of strong emotions, not just difficulty naming it. Fuck words. It's not just difficulty naming it as the shared mechanism connecting both autistic and ADHD traits to anxiety and depression. So this is something that I kind of keeping an eye on, because I think, you know, me as somebody who seems to be into this kind of mental health shit, that is something that I find kind of genuinely interesting. So again, it's called the affect intolerance, is what it's proposed. The proposed name of it, affect intolerance. So if that's something you want to look up, I'm trying to keep an eye on that. Yeah, it's something that apparently they come up with as a name for potential study name, essentially. One of the findings they had. Oh, wait a minute. Did I go too far? No, I didn't. Okay. Sorry, I got lost in my notes there. So one of the findings that they had is when autism and ADHD traits show up together, their combined effect on mental health outcomes is, are you ready? More than what you would get from just adding the two separately. 1 + 1 is landing closer to 3. I don't know how many of you guys saw the article that I did a little while back, basically pointing out the research that is going on that indicates that ADHD is potentially its own separate neurotype as opposed to just ADHD plus autism. So that's kind of what they're leaning into in a lot of these things, is the fact that it is indeed a third neurotype. Or a separate, I'll say a separate neurotype. I think third kind of is definitive. I don't want to do that. So yeah. There was another study, 2025, that backs this up from a different angle. A specific pattern of mood swings, especially anger reactivity, distinguish people with ADHD from people with ADHD alone. The same study also flagged something important, that alexithymia might make self-report questionnaires less reliable, specifically an autistic participant, because you can't accurately report a feeling that you can't accurately identify in the first place, right? So in this case, they're kind of leaning into the idea that if you're an alexithymic, doing the self-reports, which there are a lot of self-report studies out, or self-report, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to say exams, that's not right. But yeah, there are a lot of the self-reports out there that you can do yourself. And again, they're saying that if you're an alexithymic, then they might not be able to rely as much on it because they say, hey, how do you feel about this? And you're like, I fucking know. It's also the emotional weight of everyone home at the end of the day when ADHD meds wear off and expectations are high, yet dinner is everybody's tired. Wired 4 people's meds are wearing off, and you need to track who has what to take, hydrate, rest care, headaches, homework scheduled, all the things. I hate evenings. That's fair and completely valid. I totally get that. Completely understandable. I get it, dude. Picking up what you're putting down, you know? What the fuck? You've been a moderator for 6 months? Survey says no. Been a mod for a lot longer than that. I think maybe it's since they added in like the hammer, not just the sword. I think that might be it. I don't know. Anyway, moving on from that. There is one more 2025 paper that frames this as, come on, words here. It describes alexithymia basically when it stacks on top of both ADHD and autism together as creating a genuinely distinct, more complex profile. So again, not just ADHD symptoms plus autism symptoms stacked together, right? Fucking around, took a disorder. Oh, maybe, yeah, that might be it too. That might be it too. Maybe. I don't know. So anyway, where are we? Let's get to what Angie said. Affect intolerance is a widely used term and has been for years. A lot of research. Okay, well, that was the first I heard of it. Not just the association with it. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, it's probably that. Yeah, affect intolerance is something that it was a new one to me. So I'm glad to hear that it's actually been something that's been used for years. And I wasn't just talking on my ass there, I guess, because I guess I was. Alrighty, so if you specifically are ADHD, does the more than additive, the more than just ADHD plus autism, does that actually match your experience, right? Does it feel like the 1 + 1 equals way more than 2 most days? Don't throw your sword around. You stop that shit. Knock it off, you. In my own experience, I will say yes, that for me it feels like that a lot. That it's not just the 1 + the 1. I feel like it absolutely is a lot more some days. And it could be a lot to contend with. So, hopefully I'm not the only one there. Scratching my lip. It was his own thing. I never felt like it was one or the other. Does not apply. I mean, fair enough. How about anybody else who's got the both going on? As I sit here and nibble on my digestive cookie. Because that's what we had. It's also known as emotional intolerance. Okay. Alright, well, let me just add that to my notepad. Something I can have a gander at. There we go. add that to my note. Feeling double dopamine. Fair enough. Alrighty, well, shall we step forward into the masking, RSD, and the messy middle? Shall we? This next chunk might be a little bit heavier. Oh, look, Pal World. Yeah, it might be a little heavier. I'm just going to warn you now, okay? As I had warned at the very beginning. So, get out your emotional support Wookiees or teddy bears or whatever. That topic, I have nearly 13 pounds of turkey. I'm thawing out to cook this weekend. I don't know what to do. Just autistic, though? No! No, indeed, no. Masking and camouflaging. How many of you know what that is? Or rather, how many of you do not know what that is? I'm pretty sure most of you will have a good idea as to what it is. But that's just a guess. My name's Frank. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, you know? Well, remember, Venn diagram. Stack of pancakes. Fuck your fascist pancakes. Anyway, sorry, Canadian joke. Alright. Hey, there you go. A legit chef just shows up to give you ideas. Perfect. All right. As I'm done nibbling on that thing for the moment. They're delicious, though, yeah. I definitely deal with this stuff. All right, so let's just get the definition out there first. Masking and camouflaging, very plainly, consciously or unconsciously hiding autistic or ADHD traits to blend in, avoid judgment, or get through a day that wasn't built for your brain. Cook, not chef. Just work in the kitchen, not cook. Fair enough. Apologies for the mislabeling. A cook. Sorry, Papa is a cook. Are you flattening this some bitch? I don't know how. I got nothing. But yeah, again, that is consciously or unconsciously hiding autistic or ADHD traits to blend in, avoid judgment, or get through a day that was not built for your brain. Okay, from the time you wake up to the time everybody around you is asleep. Yeah, that can absolutely name it for some people. I'm not going to point fingers or name names, Demon Boy, but yeah. So let's bring in the foundational research, shall we? From a 2017 study, it's called, I love this one, it's called Putting on My Best Normal. That sounds like a children's book, to be honest with you. But it was one of the first to really document what camouflaging looks like from the inside. Hate me, tolerate me, or love me, shit is weird, Shit's getting weird. Part infinity. There's 2019 research that said people who mask more frequently report significantly more stress and emotional exhaustion, which tracks up with what this community has said forever, and the research is just catching up. Shut it, demon bitch. So again, just to pull out the crosshairs and say it again so that you actually hear me, okay? People who mask more frequently report significantly more stress and emotional exhaustion. Does anybody feel that? The honest, non-overstated version of this, a study looking specifically at anxiety and depression found camouflaging predicts generalized and social anxiety. Okay, I guess I deserve that one. Let me start over here. There's a study looking specifically at anxiety and depression. It found camouflaging predicts generalized and social anxiety more strongly than it predicts depression, but the size of that effect is genuinely modest once you account for autistic traits and age on their own. It is a real pattern, not a massive one, but it is worth pointing that out. No wonder I'm constantly exhausted. Who's this masking and she attractive? She high maintenance? Yeah, she seems to be, because she seems to cause GAD and social anxiety. So, some of the research on camouflaging has found that it is also associated with worse mental health outcomes overall, which is something that we need to take into consideration. I have Gad and Sad, yep. You have Josh Gad is who you have. Yeah, not seasonal. But yeah, some of the research on camouflaging, again, has found that it's associated with worse mental health outcomes overall, including elevated rates of thoughts of removing yourself from the mortal coil, particularly among autistic people, especially autistic women who have masked heavily for longer periods. There you go. I'm just going to say that once and leave it there. If that landed hard, it's a completely reasonable reaction. Yes, Buffy, that's right. Let me pull in. I know, right? I'm sorry. It's true, but I'm sorry. Anywho, there is a 2026 scoping review. The mental health cost of masking might not be unique to autism specifically, obviously. Similar patterns show up in other people who mask for other reasons too, including ADHD folks. So that kind of pushes back a little bit on any framing that makes this sound like an autism-only phenomenon. Remember, it is not. Masking, camouflaging is something that... What, we aren't special? I know. It's true. I'm special in the cookie eating. I don't know. Whatever I just said. I needed a cookie break, all right? Hashtag deal with it. Num num num. Speaking of cookie break, cookies for everybody. Grab yourself one, snack it on down. Okay. And just eat your damn cookie. Ah. Fair enough. Okay, so let's kind of step into RSD a little bit, shall we? Again, RSD, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, if you do not know about it. The term actually comes from a psychiatrist named William Dodson. He described it in a case series, 4 detailed case series studies from his own private practice. That's the origin. Not a large clinical trial. It was a case series. So, yeah, let's not. I know. Here's a caveat that matters. RSD is not something that is in the DSM-5. Most of us know this. Okay, there's no standardized diagnostic criteria for RSD. There's no agreed upon measurement. It doesn't mean that the experience is not real. It means that the formal research, again, as usual, has not caught up to how widely the term gets used. I'm pretty sure he didn't have an ASD. That one is hard to say, to be honest with you. Anyway, pushing forward. There was a 2026 study that interviewed 5 ADHD undergraduate students In a focus group, found 3 consistent themes in how they described RSD: withdrawal, masking, and physical body sensations that tied to emotional pain. There was a small sample qualitative design. It's good for texture and validation, not for making previous prevalence claims, but it is something that it's something to keep in mind that there again was a 26 study. There was another 26 review of the RSD research. Did you say physical pain? Yes, I did. That is something that can be a, shall we say, byproduct of RSD. It can actually lead to physical pain. Where were I? Oh yeah, 26 review of the RSD research. Conclusion, straightforward. The field needs a validated way to actually measure RSD before it can answer basic questions about how common it is, or what causes it. However, no, Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's. Parkinson's? I think you're, yeah, I think you're right. I know that it was the Lewy body dementia. I knew that, yeah. Anyway, I digress. Does anybody remember how common RSD is in ADHD people? That has, according to a number of studies. You guys remember the number as to how common it is? %. That's right. 90% of us, according to a good number of studies, claim that we suffer from rejection sensitivity dysphoria. Ain't that a sumbitch? There were 2 more data points I want to go over here before we get to our next break. 100% is unprovable. Yes, it is. That's true. There's a 2025 piece. Where are the notes? A study linking higher ADHD symptoms in students to higher RSD, and a 2018 neuroimaging study that found teens with more ADHD symptoms showed stronger brain responses to both praise and criticism from their peers, suggesting neurosocial feedback might get processed as more emotionally charged than it actually is. So, the youngins, students and whatnot, yeah, for a lot of the ADHD kids, the RSD is it's a heavy thing. RSD describes something real, and that is again a huge, roll to you too, that a huge number of ADHD people recognize immediately. There, again, the formal science just isn't there yet to say exactly how it works, how common it is. We know how common it is, or whether it's truly distinct from general emotional dysregulation. Both things are true at once, and that's okay, because science can work like that. But hi there, Red Sir. How you doing? Big old squirrel to you. Howdy, howdy, how? So, again, with all of that RSD talk, how are you guys feeling? I tried not to get too heavy in it. I just wanted to kind of like present the data and let you guys know some of the studies that we found on it. Because again, talking about feelings, why can't I identify my feelings? Here are some of the reasons. I love that it works. I mean, that seemed legit. I would like to better be explained RSD and physical pain. I can't wrap my head around that. All right, let me just... I will, you know what, I will have a gander here at a couple of these papers, and see what I can find here for you. It is absolutely a thing that can happen, where, trying to give you the short version here before we go to the break. It is something essentially that you can get yourself so worked up over it that your brain will send signals out to cause you physical pain. That's the short version of it. I will see if I can pull up a paper on that, where exactly they do identify that. But in the meantime, in between time, it is time for a self-care break. Depression can manifest as physical or stress can as well, right? Depression, stress, RSD, things like that, right? They're so tightly knit with the old head nugget. Excuse me. Kind of. I'll see if I can pull it out there. But everything we're slowly breaking one after the other. I mean, fair enough. Well, now that you're here, it's your chance to grab yourself a snack or some water, because
After these messages, we'll be right back.
un momento, baby. Alrighty. Alright. Jay, do you have customers or are you there? Because I pulled up a, I'm going to try and shorten this here. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Today we seem to be talking about feelings and why I can't understand or figure out my feelings. More or less. But yeah, I kind of want to make sure that Jay is there first before I jump into this part here, because it's just a quick explanation-ish. Set up an hour, doing colors the theme. Very nice. Very nice. I don't know why I ask questions. The minute I do, I get customers. There you go. I'm back. All right, so here is kind of a brief-ish as to how RSD can kick off physical pain. Okay. One is that there is, essentially, it is something in your brain they call a pain matrix. Okay, area includes the anterior cingulate cortex, whatever, it's a bunch of shit. But basically the glitch is this network is responsible for processing both physical pain, so like when you cut yourself, or social pain, like being left out. Then you have that emotional pain kind of thing. The result is when RSD triggers a sudden overwhelming wave of emotional distress, your brain activates the pain matrix. Because it basically the same wiring, your brain genuinely can't tell the difference between, say, a broken heart and a broken arm, shall we say. Does that make a little more sense? Another piece that we have in here is about the fight or flight spike. So when you get an intense, immediate shift in your nervous system, your brain perceives rejection as a threat to your survival. Okay? So your body instantly floods your system with stress hormones like adrenaline, cortisol, things like that. You get muscle tension. So basically all of your muscle can tend to tighten up at once. So if you're perceiving it as a physical threat, your parts of your body can like clench and prepare for, being the idea of being like punched or whatever, that kind of thing. Part of the vagus nerve is a potential reason. So if you don't know what the vagus nerve is, it's a nerve that basically runs from your brain down through your chest, to heart and stomach kind of thing. Okay, so when RSD hits, the brain can send a massive distress signal down the vagus nerve, right? So that can physically slow your heart rate, constrict your airways, and basically give you kind of like a hollow and suffocating pain in your chest, stomach, that kind of thing. Yeah, except that's not how they spell it, but close. So, of course, if you got ADHD, your brain already struggles with emotional regulation, right? So, there you go. That's kind of the short and dirty of it, more or less. Does that make sense? What happens in Vegas affects the entire body. Yes, more or less. More or fucking less. Unfortunately and sadly. Anywho. So yeah, I hope that kind of explained a little bit. So let's get into something, let's kind of shift the energy a little bit, shall we? Something maybe a little more hopeful. Can't relate for shit, but there's a part of me that wants to cough bullshit, but anyway. Let's get a little more hopeful, shall we? We're going to talk about things that might actually help. Maybe. And again, this is bearing in mind that everybody is different. Everybody's brain is different. Everybody's presentations are different. This may not work for you. Something else may. I honestly don't see it. Of course you don't. This may or may not work for you. But it might. So, again, because everybody is different. Okay, being the test dummy. There you go. There was a review that looked at what actually reduces alexithymia directly. and it found that the most effective approach combined psychoeducation, which is learning what your emotions are and how they work. Hi, Ryan. But they combine psychoeducation with actual skill practice, identifying and describing feelings and body sensations in the moment. So just knowing facts about emotions intellectually wasn't enough on its own. It had to be practiced like a skill. Why? Because it is one. That's why. That is... I don't want to say it directly is something that I am currently working on with my therapist, but it is something that we have touched on. So, I deserve good snacks too. It's true, he does. So, here's a real world example of this structured training. It was a program that they called Treat, and it tested people recovering from traumatic brain injury. It used structured emotional self-awareness training to reduce alexithymia in a small early trial. There was different populations, same basic idea, that it potentially can be trainable, which is great. There was a therapeutic approach called MABT, MABD. It was mindful awareness in body-oriented therapy, which is a mouthful and also something to trip over your lips with. But it specifically trains people to notice and accurately interpret body sensations as a route into better emotional regulation. So if the disconnect starts in the body-to-brain signal, that's where some of the fix seems to start, is with this kind of training. Again, this is not something that I have undertaken. I was kind of touching on the first one. Yeah, anyway, so short version is there is training being worked on. There is therapeutic measures that are being worked on to help with alexithymia, shitty interoception, things like that. Again, they are very, very early in their work, but they're coming along. So here's hoping that they can get better. All right. Shall we move on to 3 things that I want you guys to take away from today? Not knowing what you're feeling in the moment is not a character flaw for you or a sign that you are bad at being a person. It is a documented, measurable, actively researched difference in how ADHD and autistic brains process bodily and emotional signals. This is shit that is studied, it is documented, it is researched. So if you don't know what you're feeling in the moment, you're not alone. You're not the only one. Because remember that earlier, that one overarching study of, what was it, 15 different papers gave an average of about 50%. So you're not alone. The why behind this is still being worked out in the research, including research that's less than a month old as of today. So this field is still moving forward. It's not settled. Emotional awareness functions are like a skill that you can build with the right kind of practice. It's not a fixed trait that you're stuck with forever, thankfully. So there is that. So there is hope. There is promise that we can walk away from things like alexithymia and shitty interoception down the road with a lot of hope and research that's still coming out. All right, maybe not exactly that, but there is studies, there is research, and it is still happening. So, how are we doing? Anybody got any questions, any comments, any concerns? Any reminders that start walking away? Okie dokie. Reminder that on Friday, Active Corrosion Capacity, the album comes out. Yay! More emotional shit from me. Hoorah! And I'd just like to point out for Dan,
You have died of supertism, Terry.
sorry, not sorry, Dan. All right. Well, it seems like we don't have too much for questioning and commentary and such, huh? There we go. Push the buttons. No questions here. Had to restart PC, missed the whole thing. Uh-oh. Oh, no! God damn it, Dan. I need to put that, note to self. Let's go some jury and try to say it again. I forget all of them. I mean, that's 100% fair, right? That's, again, part of knowing your audience, right? That's why we encourage the questions along the way. And then that way we can turn them into discussion points and share everybody's experience and, you know, remind you that you're not alone in a lot of this stuff because, yeah, we're special, funky people. Add Dan to soundboard. Yeah. Really fits a prophet. I know, right? I kind of had that in mind. Kind of. Sort of, in a roundabout way. Yeah, I hate it too. Yeah. Thank you for the sing-along. No shit. I did not write an article to go along with this one today because, like I said, I've been a little bit slacky on the articles this week. It's been a very, very heavy week for me. I had a social worker come here on Monday, and I have a bunch of papers that I've got sitting over here that I'm looking at, and I don't like, but they're a fact of my reality, and it's fucking hit me very hard. I don't want to lie to you guys about that. So I've kind of been, well, and there's that too. Sunday, yeah, my body on Sunday was just a fucking disaster. I kind of blame the weather for that one. Nope, I'm definitely alone. Denied. Yeah, Sunday was a body wreck for me. And then Monday, to get up and have a social worker come over with a lot of this paperwork that I have to go over, look at, consider, etc., etc. That's this weekend gonna help? Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that I've got 2 air conditioners running and a fan right behind me, yeah, that has been helping, so I can't complain too heavily about that. Thankfully. So. Yeah, there was that. Trying to remember where I was going with this. Just that it's been a really heavy week. It's going to be heavier as the week goes on, and I'm trying to handle that as best I can. Is it chilly out there, Jay? What do we got here currently? At current, my 1 meter says 30 degrees. What do we got from the actual weather network here? I got, feels like 31 on this one. Oh, and it says best meteor shower in years tonight. Hey, 28 feels like 31? Yeah, I got 27 feels like 31, and I've got 30 on the other. was intentionally trying to derail you. Yeah, you know, we're going. Oh yes, you and I are having a conversation tonight. Trying to apologize for ain't your fault. That's what you're doing. Yes, ma'am. 19 feels like 1915 on the way to work with a cool wind. Ah, yeah, she's definitely going to be warm for the next few days. So I'm very happy that I've got air conditioning in here. Thank Christ for that. But yeah. And then I got to figure out what tonight's dinner is going to be, or who's even going to be there for it, or etc. etc. That kind of thing. Last week in the AC was broken over too. Gross. Not happy there. All right. Well, I hope you guys, like I said, were able to take something good out of this, including a little bit more information on alexithymia, RSD, interoception, things like that. Some of the reasons why it is difficult for us to figure out what the hell we're feeling, etc., etc. How come it can be such a chore? It can be so fucking difficult some days. Yeah, and if you feel like that, you're not alone. You're not the only one. Because I struggle with it too. And so do a lot of people in chat. So you know where we are. If that is something that you legitimately have problems with, that you struggle with, reach out to one of us. I'm sure that we can relate. I'm sure that we can maybe help you along the way if you guys do need some assistance with it. And if you guys want any of the documents that I used for today, they are all going to be listed in the YouTube description, in the Facebook description. Sorry, Twitch, if you guys want all of them, just DM me and I can send you a giant stack of links. Other than that, you know what? I'm a GTFO. I'm going to figure out what we're going to do for dinner here. But I should be back on Friday. I hope. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the Discord. Take care of yourselves. Drink your water. Take your meds. Be kind to you. I love your face. You do pork chops. Well, it's a good thing I took out pork chops. Hey. I just got to figure out what's going with them is all. But I see what you did there. Don't think I didn't see what you did there. All right, my loves, I will see you on Friday. Again, drink your water, take your meds, be kind to yourself. I love your faces. I will catch you in the Discord. And until then, babies, ciao for now.